Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time to the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Good morning, Evermorians! I'm your host with most, Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert, coming at you over the airways on WNTF. Never mind the furthermore. Bam! Never mind the furthermore is brought to you by our good friends over at indiecd.org. Yes, the Independent Creator Directory, your one-stop shop for the best and the brightest authors, musicians, creatives out there who are working every day to make sure that there's a safe community to fall back onto, to promote. And friends, it's quite a community. I'll be getting into that just a little bit later. Now, for a low price of $40, you can join and have a lifetime support on this site, curated by Joe Bachman, where you can have your stuff linkable, findable, and most importantly, you can have access to things that make it much easier to creators. Direct accounts to a private social media network solely for creators to help other creators. You have access to the calendar to share not only when you're broadcasting, but your con schedule. As soon as you know you put it up there, other people can know. I want to get more showrunners out there to make that happen. Guys, the only way things are going to get better is by folks coming together and working to make the outcome of what we are looking for happen. Because right now, the big guys aren't really going to help us much. And we know this in our hearts. So finding a place like IndieCD is a great thing to do and to know. Now, we're also, of course, made possible by sales of my books, including but not limited to The Simple Sword, The Fighting Axe, and The Simple Spear. These are all part of my ongoing series of books and manuals to teach you the fine art of Western martial arts. So you can go from never handled the sword to being able to teach the art to others. It is based on the principle of having read literally dozens of different manuals, many of them from both Western and Eastern traditions, and looking at the idea, what do they all agree on? At what point in the basics do they all agree? And from there, building a system that can be adapted and focused for anyone. Okay? So I'm very proud of that series of books. I'm very proud of where it's going. I'm very proud of what's coming up. But things I'm also proud of, the Big Stompy Robots core rulebook, the games, there are apps through Joe Bachman over at JB Tech Apps. If you want to have the joy of blowing things up on the mighty tables of destruction and not want to spend a fortune on it, please consider looking at the Big Stompy Robots line of games. There's a lot of rich lore, there's a lot of joy, a lot of wonder inside it. So please look that up. And if joy and wonder isn't your thing, that's okay. You can take a little preview through my mind and the horrors inside by reading Through the Thinning Veil, Volume 1, which is a collection of short stories taken from, well, some of them are taken from my time as a paranormal consultant, where I helped people with situations, either based on their tellings or things I encountered during said situations. Some are absolute fiction, and I'll let you in. Some are things I just walked into, being the right guy at the wrong place. It's a great adventure into the edges of the macabre, the fringes of the liminal, the place where the things that go bump have more to say. So look into this. Eventually, I will be doing Volume 2, but right now I'm working on Volume 2 of Haints and Hellfire. Now, Haints and Hellfire is basically one of my first real full novel-length reads, set in the Appalachian Mountains, where two rival reporters and the supernatural forces they attach themselves will decide the fate and survival of a young boy. It's good. Daphne Leish liked it. You should like it too. And I want to thank the folks who have reviewed this. I take the comments to heart when they are informative, and most of them have been. I want to thank you guys for, of course, purchasing it, and I want you to enjoy it. My books are written as a case of passion for me. I am, for all my silliness, a man of great passions. Now, before people are concerned, this is actually a Hawaiian shirt. I just came into the study, and my study was a little colder than I expected this morning because of the heat fluxes. So, you guys are getting besweatered Nick. Now, some of you may have known this. Some of you may have paid attention. Some of you may have missed the fact. But I was show running a wonderful little convention in Fowler, Indiana, the Independent Creator Convention, based largely around the folks involved with IndieCD.com. IndieCD.org. The event was affectionately called IndieCD.com, where we had some great creators, great authors, and what's great is more important to me is I got to meet some people that, though I've been doing this business for quite some time, I've never laid eyes on. And we were very privileged to have some, what I consider fairly distinguished guests. We had, of course, Brian K. Morris. We had Carl Witzman. We had the incomparable Don Dulas. We also had Trelena Bachman and Joe Bachman there. Alec Martin was there for many of you to meet for the first time. And I, for the first time after many years of doing business with him, had the pleasure of meeting not only Luke Stone, but his lovely daughter, Corey, who were delightful people to associate with. And it is important to remember the difference between people and their internet personas. Now, most people have an internet persona that is very different from who they may be, or you don't have to project more. So it's always fun to just have a real person behind the screen. The event, for people who are wondering, we're going to say basically broke even. We had some expenditures that weren't quite expected. I had planned, like we had planned to have food on site, and we went through several vendors who said they would do it and at last minute canceled in succession. So Mandy and I just went out and bought donuts for breakfast for everybody who was working it and pizza for everybody who was working it. Tried to keep allergies in mind best we could. So some of our costs are a little in flux. I actually get to go to the courthouse and give the keys back today because unfortunately Amanda is not feeling very well, so she is home. The nature of which means she will not be leaving the house probably. It was an incredible time. It was a great opportunity to socialize and meet with people and tell stories. And I got to demo BSR, which is something I love to do. Actually, it's the first convention in many, many years where I didn't take any art commissions. There wasn't much call for it at that time, and that's okay. We did have certain challenges, the biggest of which being, people mentioned, Nick, why weren't there signs? We put up 6 signs to make sure people could see the turns from everywhere. And the wonderful winds of Fowler, Indiana literally shattered our signposts. I managed to get 2 of the signs and 1 of the signposts the night after. It was considerable effort since the entire staff for such thing for the event was my lovely wife, myself, and Alexander. But we did. It met a couple nights of coming in late at night and being there till midnight to set up for the convention, and then coming in at convention time to set up. And we weren't done cleaning up till shortly after midnight because of the venue's rules, the venue's standards. It was a great time, though, and a lot of people will not take a chance on a first venue. Now, I will say this. Every single vendor who reached out to me at least made more than their table fee. So the people who were concerned about me saying $50 for the table fees, everyone who showed up made more than that, usually substantially. Because we didn't have a lot of people, but by what I was aiming for my standards this time, but we did have dedicated people. We had people who were there to look at authors, to look at creatives, to buy stuff. So it was a good time. Obviously, there's nothing better than sitting around in person with a large number of your friends. As was necessary, unfortunately, I didn't get to sit with BCAM as much as I wanted to. But because I was in showrunner mode, so I was looping the convention basically constantly. That probably affected a bit of my art production too, but that's okay. We did well enough that we are on track for a gaming convention to be held in September. It will be called StompCon. It will be an independent gaming convention. That means you're not likely to find WotC stuff. You're not likely to see Games Workshop stuff. You're going to see the small independent game designers who are trying to highlight their works. I will be putting that out. I've got some lessons learned from this one, which is what you do when you're show running. If I seem sedate, it's not that I'm sedate. It's that I kind of put heart and soul into making this happen. And when you put out that much mojo, it does pull from you just a bit. Sunday was literally spent with me with my feet up mostly, except for unloading the truck and the necessities of being a parent and husband, all that stuff. But I have not shirked my writing duties. So when we get to my actual accountability, before we get into more show running stuff, because I want to talk about that. If you build it, they will come. And you did. Large number of you did. A large number of people I reached out to didn't for assorted reasons, and some of them will not be asked back. That's easy. It was open. It was a very open invite, and I kind of wanted to see who would nibble and who didn't. And I do want to say, because there's apparently some background rumblings, I also did not exclude anyone. So anyone saying that they were deliberately excluded is telling a flat out lie. Just want to make that clear. Dealing with, the background stuff, and like I said, we still have to deal with getting the keys back in the courthouse and some other things, can be challenging. But it's important, and we can make it happen. It proves that someone with very limited resources, but a lot of dedication, can do something and pull it off. And, objectively, we broke even, which means I got to spend a wonderful Saturday with my friends in a venue that got some new people involved, both in Big Stompy Robots, got Haints and Hellfire into a few people's hands, few of my other books into people's hands, waiting on those reviews, guys. And we made it, and we went forward with it. That's what it's about. Okay? My concern was for the vendors first. And it's one of those where we had 8 functioning table cast stations, not counting the table that was up for guest use, because I've always been annoyed when there are conventions where there's nowhere for people to just sit and loiter a little bit. That means we could go up to probably 12 if people don't mind being back to back in the middle. Vendors, not counting anyone using the kitchen space. So next year, and yes, we are planning, barring a disaster, next year we're going to try to tinker with the schedule a little bit, but it depends on the site and venue, because I want to try to keep the venue the same, the rough scheduling the same. Still a little one-day one, at least for now. But we're planning to keep going on to that. Now, I am excited because I found some things that had gone wrong before the convention, and I got to work on them, and I know going out through it. Oh, I see notes, and I'm not sure who one person is, but I will deal with it. Where we're going to go. Now, I know you guys are probably expecting morning, Heckfire and Brimstone, Nick, and you're not going to get a lot of that. I'm too in the post-con processing, because for me, and I don't know how many of you have actually ran major events. I've run SCA events. I've run assorted little conventions, small conventions. I've been, assistant and, sort of the black-handed problem solver I was for ArcticCon for nearly a decade, somewhere around a decade. I was Ben's unassigned individual, and my job was to go around and solve any problem I could before it happened and keep it from having to go to Ben. So very much an EXO kind of position. That's, that's kind of where I was on the opposite side of that, because while I was doing that, Mandy was just incredible this weekend, and you couldn't have a better partner in business or crime than my lovely wife. And I think word got out to a lot of great people. Right? I'm emotionally spent, and not in a bad way, because like I said, I got to hug Don Dulas, I got to hug Chris Walker, I got to hug Alec Martin because I had parental permission. And I'm not going to get misty-eyed thinking about that. I also want to commend everyone for receiving Xander as well as you did. It meant the world to me and Amanda that no one gave him flack for being him. It was a very safe place for him. And everyone had fun. Everyone made money. Maybe not a lot, but made some. And that's all I could ask. So thank you guys who shared it around. Thank you for promoting it. And to the folks who maybe wrote it off because of it being the first year or, scheduling. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not sitting here. I'm a strange duck. But if I'm ever serious about something, if I'm ever kind of quiet and soft spoken, I'm not. There's no showman to it. It's just the simple truth. As the years go by and the people come and people go, I know we will look back on the Independent Creator Convention. Number one, and the people who are there and have the stories of what happened there will be fondly remembered, and the people who missed it in time, I think, will learn to regret that they missed it because it was that good. Everything you could want. Perhaps in miniature at times, but it was amazing. And everyone, going right down the list, Joe and Trelena were amazing. But I don't want to say I take that for granted, but they were. They were incredible, supportive, wonderful people. Trelena made some things I haven't seen, so she got some of my money. Alec did a remarkable job. It's hard going out, especially in the situation. Carl and Donna are absolute, professionals. It's what you expect from them. Just like, Don Dulost, I spent much of my time the guy at the gate, welcoming people and helping people and talking about other people. Have you seen my show? Don was masterful in that role and stepped without a thought into being even more that than I would have ever expected, certainly than I would have asked. Foxy and Thesis can sleep well knowing that that occurred. And Chris is the just perfect embodiment of a Southern gentleman. Just delight to have in a convention, delight to talk to, delight to listen to. Now, I can say nothing about BKM and, of course, Lovely Cookie that hasn't been said. The man is my mentor. And while I didn't get to talk to him nearly as much as I wanted to, we both knew we were both on the clock. And I'm so happy, so grateful for his continued work and effort and advice. And like I said, Luke was a perfect professional. Both Luke and his lovely daughter Corey. The booth was well made. It was the presentations were great. Hybrids is great. I got to hear some stuff that's coming down the pipe from Luke that I'm excited to hear about. Some stuff that's long time coming. And I think it's going to be a really good time coming up without getting into that. We were also joined by Kitty Del Sombra, who Shadowcat Creations, who's a wonderful, dear old friend from the back alley, our Arcticon back alley vendors days, and of course her usual cohort in crime, Dead Mike. And it was cool to introduce some of my Arcticon vendor friends to my Rising Tide friends, to my simple friends, and just bring the worlds together, which is what I'm working to do. I have traveled in many, many circles, and I have this passion about grabbing the best in each and introducing them and weaving a web, weaving a structure that is solid, that will of connections and support that transcends the organizations and ages and cliques and things that we fall into, where the people who build up others find like-minded people. And It has influenced the Rising Tide banners. It has influenced, uh, the Independent Creator Directory, a few other organizations, and I am prime excited for that. It was a good chance. We've been talking about booths. We've been talking about what works, what doesn't, what catches the eye, what doesn't, and we got to see several really great examples of approaches, how different people use verticality, how different people merchandise their stuff, how they sold their stuff. It was all in all an incredible occurrence. And I hope it was education, because I had a couple people talk to me and ask questions about my booth. I had a couple people, like, especially in Alex's case, using stuff that we discussed earlier. And it's neat to see people's booths grow and change and mature, or, grow up or condense down. Carl and Donna have basically found a very interesting level of minimalism. And as Carl will gladly tell you, he only keeps a few books on hand because he has more in the car. Excuse me. I also want to put a special shout out to my man Rich Asplin. Rich Asplin came out and was only going to stay a couple hours. He left about the time Xander and I had to go in the car so Mandy could mop the floor. I mean, he was there till the bitter end, and it was a fascinating occurrence. He almost had his own booth because after a few people had to leave as the night wore on, he just slid right in and set up scanning stuff. If he had decided to put a booth thing up, he put a shingle out, he could make a decent business simply out of scanning people's things into 3D, scanning miniatures. I may reach out to him to do that if that's something he might be interested in. Come StompCon. So, pardon me. Yeah. Everyone really is moving forward, and everyone really profited well. So I'm very proud of you. And I'm very thankful for the support. I'm sorry if this isn't my usual style of programming. It's been, like I said, it's been a weekend, and I still have some stuff to deal with on my end, but it's been great. Thank you. Now, if you want someone else who can help you make your things go well, let me recommend the incomparable Joe Bachman. I realize in discussing my stuff, I did not mention my word count accountability. At least I don't think I did. I am at 19,503 words. So yes, amid all of the shenanigans this weekend, I still managed to get some words in, which I will count as a extra bonus. But as interesting as I am, folks, the people in my chat are far more interesting, so let's get to them. Get all the way to the bottom. and we will go through. All right, first through the door appears to be the Independent Creator Directory, which, hey, Joe, good morning and happy Monday, folks. I'm not going to be around much today due to the INDOT construction conference. Well, I hope you have a good time, learn something. You know, we went from a convention to a conference. That's not a bad thing. Accountability started working on another story. Chapter 1 is complete. Survived IndieCD.con this weekend. It was a great time. I'm sure Nick will give a great recap. I certainly tried. I'm still awash in the action and finally got to meet the lovely, I'm sorry, that's me adding it, Don DeLoss, Chris Walker, and Luke Stone in person. How cool was that? And Trey, good morning, all. Good morning, Trey. There were several people I just barely got to talk to, and literally Trey was right beside me most of the time, and I couldn't really get into talking, to them like I would have because I had to, share the love around. Also listening to the INDOT conference, but with the add bonus of hobo cuddles, so typing may be sparse. You do what you got to do. I understand it's work-related. IndieCon was amazing this weekend. Nick and Amanda were great hosts, and it was great seeing everyone in person. It really was. There's nothing like it. Good morning, Joe and Trey, still on BKM show. Be there soon. All right. Good morning, Joe, Trey, and Carl. Absolutely. Good morning, Thesis. Your stuff was incredibly well received. It was the talk of a large number of the people coming through. And both your journals and your and Foxy's bracelets, the wax seals, believe it or not, are what really caught people. Hey, Thesis. Hey, Thesis and Carl. Good morning. Good morning, Dan. I got to briefly speak with you after I got home at around midnight. And good morning. Well, it's cold enough for one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's cold enough for a hood. Hey, Dan. I've been seeing Dan. And accountability, working hard to finish my new Armory video for my channel using the piece of music Dan made. If I get it finished today, I will send it to him first before the premiere. How nice. A lovely 47 degrees Fahrenheit here in central Illinois, going to get up to 66, they say. Munsey time. Yes, it's 41 here, according to my little icon, but it says high pollen, which is, everything I need. And hi, Donna, how you doing? Hey, the gang's all here. Not only are we here, but we were in the green room. And those who know. And those who don't, well, you missed out. Morning, Donna. Cool thesis. Hey, Donna. Accountability, Himoni taken to vet to get fixed, taking cousin out to teach her Munsey game after lunch. 3-minute warning on the mute. And good morning, friends and fellow creatives. Good morning, Kelly. And Kelly is the amazing creative force behind. Let me see if I can. Sorry, I'm going to bring up the older one because I have to find the newer one. But Bishop Kincaid, Anatomic Stories #1. She's just a tour de force, and I am so amazed with what she does. So, good morning, Kelly. I do have a request for anyone who was at the convention. Please send me pictures of your business cards. I did not get them. I was caught up doing showrunner stuff. So please, I want to compile them into something. I'm plotting. You know me. And hey, Kelly. Everybody's glad to see Kelly, as they should. And friends, I've received my hardcover proof and will be sending 10 copies to anyone who will read my book and give an actual honest review. If you might be interested, message me by FB. You know I'm going to take care of all that, dear. And super busy, Carl, but trekking along, sir. Very good. Amazon won't let me review right now. I guess I haven't spent enough money with them this year to qualify those. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. And let's see. Alex says, heading home. Talk when I'm back. All righty. We'll be here. Alec. Hey, Alec. And hey, Woke. How are you doing, sir? And Mike is going to finish the back part of Atomic Stories cover this week, so I'll send that to you and we can see about piecing it together. Hey, Woke. Nice, Kelly. Hey, Kelly. Hey, Woke. Amazon sucks, Carl. Even a review on Goodreads or other form is accessible. My books will start at being sold at art shows by proxy at shows by proxy sellers. So I've got to get myself out there. Yeah, and if you have the option of proxy sellers, that's nice for just spreading the word. And let's see, I just wanted to tell Amazon, do you know I've created nearly 10 book covers for various authors on your site? Yeah, they don't care. No, Carl, they sure don't. And good morning, Dawn. Good morning again. I just got scolded for gathering things together, and I'm not allowed to carry anything down the stairs. That's for the best. You and stairs should not be together. Stairs and I are in a long and abusive relationship. They're just complex. That's why I walk down the hill and around when I leave my house usually. Accountability. Did great at the con. Took yesterday off to recover and bask in success. Now back at it. It's for me, it's barely hitting because I have 48 days till Region Con. So I'm seeing all the work that I have to do just looming. And I'm excited. It's great times, but it's also a lot. So I'm glad. My fear, and what literally kept me up at nights, yeah, sure, was that the vendors wouldn't do well. I wanted the people who were working this convention to have a great time and do well, and it seems like everyone did. If a Goodreads review counts, Kelly, I promise to do it. And everybody's saying hi to Don. If you want a copy, Carl, I'll be glad to send you one. Not a biggie, my friend. Awesome. You're great people, Kelly. And squee by Indie CD Con fam, you rock. Thank you, Don. You really, and I want you to understand, you truly helped make that event a wonder to behold. I did not do my homework. I was supposed to study up on the St. Crispin's Day speech because that's what was running through my head. That, to badly paraphrase the bard, that those who were not here on this day shall hold their manhood's light, and lacking, we who were there on indiecd.com. Yes, folks, that was an event that will be spoken of in warm tones for long, long hours. And thank you all for making it possible. Did you get help then? And Morning Dawn, do I need to drive over there? I've been relegated to sitting in the kitchen at the kitchen counter for the time being. Hey, I have long since been a gravity application specialist. It is a noble and worthwhile task to keep that chair from floating away sometimes. I told you I was wearing my Hawaiian shirt under it. When I first came in and it was cold, once I got going doing my show, it started to fire up. Good morning, Sarah. And Trey, I'm so glad you did well. I meant to come over and look at your creations, but two of our cats would have done nasty things to your yarn. I think we all understand that. And yes, everyone is glad to join our Lady of the Shadows, the beloved Sarah. Hey, Trey. And I like to see girls flirting. And yes, Sarah slides his like on before she notices. Please do. Guys, please like, share, and subscribe to this so great people like Carl and Sarah and stuff can be promoted. I need to promote somebody. I talked a little too long in the beginning of the show. So I really want to get this out there. Let's see. Oops. Okay. Massive scroll.
Which is worse, parental interference in your job or a person with a weapon when they shouldn't have one? Working security can be boring, but some conventions are a blast. Find this and all of Donna Carlene's books at lulu.com or look for her on indiecd.org.
And let's see. We've got morning, Sarah. How have you been getting along? And no worries, Carl. I completely understand cats destroying yarn. I have a little brown octopus because I looked. There's this whole bin of really brightly colored little octopuses, and there was one little brown guy, and I'm like, oh no, you need a home. So there's that. Oh, and hi. I don't know if Xander's up, but Dawn says hi. Xander's sleeping in today because we didn't get to go to bed Saturday night till like 2 because we had to get everything unpacked in the car. Well, get what needed to come in the first night, and then we needed to eat, and everybody was so keyed up. So his sleep schedule's a little scrambled. But Hobo loves Trey's yarn. Hello. And hell, I think I'm half sleeping yet. You're not the only one. Das ist nicht dem Grund Zimmer. Okay. Oh, there were some hashtags, including hashtag Silver Fox. And what were the other ones? Dawn, we were starting to make hashtags. Hashtag that is the green room. Hashtag Nick's in the green room. Hashtag cover your ears, Xander. Hashtag cover your ears, Alec. It was a good time. And yeah, thanks, Carl. Goodreads is good. Cool. Or it's cool. Excellent. As best as possible. Kelly, how about you? Hey, Sarah. Hey, Blade. Still moving like a turtle in a race against a hyper rabbit. Slow progress, but still going. You're lapping the you on the couch. Always remember, there's a version of you that would sit with like chocolate covered something, hunkered on the couch, doing nothing, and you were lapping that person. Let's see. Morning, all. He left out his voice girlfriend from the list. Well, these things happen. Still going is great. One step at a time is all it takes. Glad to hear you're still plugging along. And you know what I realized? I did not ask Dawn. Asked our own Donna if she's still keeping the mojo in the dojo. Because I'm going to tell you, there were some moments, when I had the chance to sashay over to our own Donna Carleen and whisper sweet nothings in her ear. And she told me things, friends, things as a gentleman I dare not repeat, but I will tell you, it was a delight. Donuts and Zal was perfect. No complaints. Excellent. And Carl, I'll send you out a coffee. It'll be about a month due to Amazon's really intentional slow delivery service. We fully understand that too. And Trey hopes you feel better soon. Everyone wants her to feel better. And super hugs for Amanda. It's all good. Feel better soon. We ate a lot of things we probably shouldn't have. I did see one of the signs, at least one of the survivors. We'll see. That is appreciative because they gave their lives in service to the convention. And next year we will have more formidable sign-based allies. Carl, just send me your address you're comfortable with by email to me, and that's Kelly's email, or messenger if you like. Sure, Kelly. I almost made double. I made almost double my table fee, and since Donna had no fee, she made out like a bandit and spent it all. Wonderful. Alex says, hi, I'm back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Hey, Alec. Honest review. I can't produce good content if someone just throws up something misleading to another hard person's money, nor can I improve my writing skills. See, I admire the integrity, Kelly. I really hope I can meet you guys in person in the near future. I've got to get to shows. Well, if we build them enough, we will. You will come. That's the plan. As for being excluded, some people like to play the sympathy card and aren't always honest. And I am sorry that for the people who got some of the silliness that it was going on. I just want publicly to say I was aware. I in no way excluded anyone. And I was glad for everyone who came, and we had a wonderful time. The loyalty of friends made it amazing. It really was. Oh, but you were there in spirit and in goods, Foxy. Too bad we missed it. Foxy and I would love to meet everyone in person. So glad to have someone like Don representing us. Absolutely. And there he is, the king of the cult of Chris. Chris Walker. Ladies, I actually got to hear the squee in stereo. And I think, there was a new version of the Cuban embassy syndrome, but Maddie laughed at that. We're glad to see you, Chris. I hope you had a good time getting home, and I hope you're doing well. Can't fill in the center. It was a gathering place. The kitchen was the can't fill in the center. Oh, it was a gathering place. The kitchen was the green room. Oh, God, that's right. Oh, God, it was a gathering place. It was the dawn of the third age of Nick Kind. 10 years after the Arcticon fell. No. Hey, Chris. Morning, Chris. Hey, Chris. Everyone's green, Chris. Green kitchen. Oh, my gosh. Yes, it was. Oh, hashtag the counters are too high. Hope you did well, Foxy and Thesis. I hope you did. You did great by them. Don, you were fabulous. I watched. I paid attention. I was watching everybody who was sell while they were doing it because I was everywhere in that room. I was teleporting around. You could not ask for better rep than Dawn at the con. She was a really great table, and she talked to every last person who came through the door, and everybody thanked me for having that nice lady at the door. And Alex said, I basically got to hug everyone Saturday, and I was very happy, very glad to be with people I love and enjoy being around. Yes! Aren't you glad you're around to do it? We are. And Kelly's asking, how are you feeling this morning, Dawn? I have no doubt you did wonderful. She exceeded even my high expectations, and that's saying something. He also managed to join the order of Xander's people. Dawn was thoroughly adopted. Hey, Chris, Foxy, and Alec. I'm tired, but my heart is full beyond measure. I'm so glad to hear that. Dawn is super awesome. Trey! Hi, Foxy and Thesis. You might have been there, but your words definitely made an impact. Lots of interesting things. And Chris says, hi, Xander. He's still out, but I will tell him all about it. I would be a hypocrite if I treated Xander differently than I treat my own nephew. And it as a parent, as a father, and simply as a man, I appreciate it. Dawn, your babies are going along very well. Working on them when I can, and they're turning out great. I'll send you an update through the email. Oh, that's wonderful. Foxy, I'll get back in touch with you today. I pretty much crashed yesterday at the con. It was yesterday when I got home from the con, and then I crashed till it was set up, and I've been starting doing the assessment. Don't blame you. There's no rush. I'll have to order some beads for you anyway. Oh, heck, I used to work with many Xanders. It was just the second best job I ever had. I miss many of my old clients' friends. You and me both. Nick, Alex says, Xander is amazing. He seemed to love to spook me sometimes. I found it funny, and he did too. Yes, I kept my word to him. I did put the medicine on the arm. Good. Xander, like his old man, is something of a put pocket. For people who aren't familiar with that term, a pickpocket is someone who takes things from your pocket without your knowledge. A put pocket is someone who makes them appear. I am notorious for delivering things like Starlight mints into people's pockets without them realizing it, only for them to find that, and then usually have a moment of minor delight. But Xander wrote his name on a piece of paper and managed to get it into Dawn's purse without her realizing it. So she found that, I think, on the ride home. It was what a delightful. I love my son, and you guys are so great. It was so awesome to meet some of you in person at last. It was fun and enjoyable experience. I'm glad. I am so glad because you came so far. And again, thank you for the wonderful conversation you had with my dad. And yes, my family came through. Oh, Alec, we love you. I got some great feedback. People want prints of the original traditional works, so there's multiples that one could get. Yes, prints are wonderful. Love you too, Don. It was great, Chris, and thank you again for the liquid gift. Oh my. You know what? No, I got that one. The phrase thank you, Chris, for the liquid gift. Yeah, we're gonna have to not the green room on the flag, and I might even go so far as that calls for a dirty. You're very talented, Alec. Nick, we have a lot fewer books in the car now. I am glad to hear it. Accountability Part 2. After talking with Dan and Mike Jimmy on LMS, which I got to see just a little bit of, I'm encouraged to pick up my calligraphy brushes again. Don't know if I'll be sharing it with people. That's fine. You don't have to share everything you do, but you have to never hesitate to do it. Alec, if you did a colored version of the Fowler Theater, it would sell very well, especially if it's at the same location next time. I agree. But I will be doing things again, and that's what we want to see. And Rich's chainmail was gorgeous. And I told the man he just needs a booth. So I'm going to see if I can. All right, we're going to conspire against our good buddy Richie, who's not here yet. Oh, yes, he is. Oh, well. We need to get him to put out for a booth and set up, because between offering scanning services and his chainmail, which is incredible, mine is still tucked away with the other treasures acquired. Yeah, you have a year to get them made. So get on it, Rich. So I don't know if you heard Mandy, but she says she's already been asked about someone getting multiple of those necklaces. So there you go. I'm thinking about doing a watercolor piece on the theater. Oh, yes. I'm glad you got to see so many friends at the con. That's always wonderful. And it was needed. Alec, Sarah. What? I hear my name whispered throughout the interwebs. It is hashtag, what was it? Hashtag Faraday Cage and Go-Go Boots. Anyway, I have to give a special shout out to Rich Asplin. Saturday was a tough day for both of us. Thank you for the chance to meet you in person. Your gift. I will treasure it always. That was a beautiful moment and a beautiful thing that happened. I'm just this shy of not my story to tell. Looking up every once in a while to read the chat while sorting out my calendar. Wait, is there a Sarah calendar? My stammer got a hold of it and nearly became a Sarah calendar, because I think that could work, and you still have to send me rough stuff so I can draw you up as a drow matron. Rich got himself conjured. The summoning was successful. And Trey says, "Hiya, Rich." Hey, like how we conjured Carl at the con. We mentioned their name and they pulled up. Don Dulas, I am all powerful at conjuring. It was a crack up, Alec. Right, I thought I smelled rum, but why is it gone? Alec? It happens. Yes, you were all in the green room, and I couldn't touch it with a 50-foot pole. No es el cuarto verde. Yep. That was a hashtag. If you need cards from Foxy, that can be arranged. I just need the image because I want to compile them into a single page for to set up banner type things later. Driving mode engaged. And it's not going to let. Let's see. Now, Dawn Dulas has engaged her driving mode. So, okay, guys, if Dawn is a transformer, what kind of car is she? John and Silmar Yang. That's Scots Gaelic. Alas, poor Nick, trying to make him try to pronounce these things. I am failing. And hello, Grant. I am sorry, I'm late. It's okay. It's okay. Saw that Totoro you made, Trey. Richie was on LMS for a bit, and it was in the background. See, when I see Trey have things that are really cool at the conventions, I'm strong enough to go, okay, if I want something from Trey, I can commission it any time of year easily, which there's something cool in the works because we sat and figured it out. But that Totoro was incredible. Hey, Grant, and hello, Thesis, and hey, Grant. Now I'm preparing for a craft fair at the high school here for next month. Wonderful. Keep it up. Hello. And I know I haven't run many ads, so I'm going to run an ad because some of you, I understand that it's nearly 11 o'clock, and some of you will want to go see Nita show the Raging Vlogs with Daphne Lage. Or Daphne's show with Nita, depends who you talk about. If you go, send them my love. And I'm going to run a bump talking about all the awesome stuff they do. Now, I promised to hold this up for Trey to see it. She wanted to see my three-dimensional take on my old mascot, Doom Bunny. So this is he's showing us butt. That's how it is. My little Doom Bunny. Yeah, come on. Focus nicer. Anyway, this has been my mascot since, like, middle school. Doom Bunny and I have a long and sordid history. And Trelena is a long-standing member of the Doom Bunny militia. But yes, this is Doom Bunny. And yes, I sculpted this out of the super light poly clay. I have a few other talents I don't usually capitalize on. But let's see. Good job, Alec. Hello, Foxy. Oh, yeah. Don't repeat anything that Donna tells you. It only leads to trouble. As a rule. Foxy says, I'm finally starting to feel less cruddy. Not good yet, but less cruddy. Oh, I understand. Good, Foxy. This one kicked my butt. We were worried about you. The squee cannot be ignored. Oh, my gosh, no. Bugs tend to get me real good. I'm going to talk to the doctor's office here in a bit because it's not going away on its own. That sounds wise. Joe says, I'm fairly certain I heard dogs barking down the street from the high-pitched squee that was launched. See, you think he's kidding. He is not. That's good. Ruff, ruff. Is that what pierced my ears Saturdays? Yeah, if it pierced your ears at Saturday, it gauged mine. Could be Thesis. You could have heard it several states away. Green Room is in Discord, right? Anytime I've tried to make it count, I'm doing something wrong. Stupid FB for making making rooms into FB into chats. Yep. We already had Chet Doy. Okay. And Sarah, I will share the link with you later. I didn't know you were here, Sarah. Yep. And Nick, I might want to discuss a project that you've mentioned a few times. I don't know if you'd be interested in somebody helping you with it or not, but we should talk. Okay. I'll reach out. There are a few projects that people are trying to help me with fairly consistently, and I'd like to know. We can work something out. You know how it is. I'm also totally okay talking business out in the open. Yeah, Grant, I've been pretty quiet, especially when someone's used to me chatting like crazy. Accountability sort of. I have a doctor appointment at 11 now. Good on you. Happy for your folks coming through, though. Or through. Yes, through. Yeah, it's wonderful. It's been a while since I've been able to make an episode of NTF. I miss my buddies. We miss you too, Grant. I like my chat. I have one of the best chats out there. Aw, Grant. Hey, do you have a show tonight or taking the night off? I just heard from the vet. Money's out of surgery. He did great. I guess he did hiss a bit, but he'll be ready to come home about 4. Sounds like great. I do have a show tonight. Thank you for reminding me, Carl. I'm really happy Himoni is okay. Yes, the tripod search will begin. Writing it down. Been out of sorts for a bit. It happens to all of us. And I've been chasing tripods for a while. I think I might, knock on wood, I may have to modify the feet just a little bit. But I may finally have the right tripod because it actually has a very industrial strength phone holder. And the vast majority of time, I'm using my phone for my filming. So I have a lighter weight version than my heavyweight version with a better phone. The only thing is it's missing a foot on one of these sides, so I'm going to have to check that. But at my usual electronics boutique and its prices. So, yes, tripods are fun. Targus makes a little lightweight collapsible one that's very good if you need a tripod. And thank you, Dawn, that little scamp, that lovable little bitey scamp. I'm not sure what you're talking about with the tripod, but I know there's an innuendo in there somewhere. There's always an innuendo. This is very dramatic music. Yes, it really is. And you know what? Speaking of dramatic stuff, and the fact that Grant is nicely in the chat, let's talk about something else dramatic.
Sasquatch, the Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, the Jersey Devil, Chupacabra. For millennia, these creatures have perplexed the human race. But what if they are forces of good? What if they have been sent here by a federation of more advanced alien species to help and defend the human race? That's the premise of League of Cryptids, a new comic book by Grant Lankard, creator of the smash hits Beowulf and Memoirs of the Morbid. His new comic, League of Cryptids, is a 4-part story involving these 5 creatures banding together to defend Earth from an invading alien race, just as one of their members is losing faith in the human race and questioning their mission. The epic tale begins in League of Cryptids 1.
League of Cryptids is a neat title, and I like to see people being creative with really accessible items. And let's see. Grey Wolf says, I wish I could have gone to the event in Indiana. Maybe CG can have a comics con there in Manchester. Con here in Manchester, Tennessee at our conference center. True. I've mentioned it several times, but get no response. I'm going to tell you one thing about people who are looking for conventions. And this is from a lot of experience. People will love the idea of a convention. They won't want to do the work. So if you want something, sometimes you need to be the showrunner yourself. And that can take considerable financial outlay, time outlay, and a lot of work. It'll pull it out of you. I'm not even joking. I'm pretty sure my hair was more gray at the end of the convention than it was before. But it went well. And everything, we found a way around everything that was problematic. So there we go. Foxy Eyes tells me I'm not a pervert. I'm a provert because I can turn anything dirty. Absolutely. At Carl Witzman, that little scamp is almost 10 pounds. Oh, my. You might be a pervert, too, Thesis. It's possible. Angie's going to start a support group for women married to perverts. I'm going to catch myself there so I don't green room it. Foxy and Kitty told me they're making me a path. I keep telling him he needs to be a professional perv for companies that put out questionable products. Okay, and we're joined by Josh Waldrop. Hello, Josh. And we're joined by Kiri Bloodrose. Hello, Kiri. I'm sorry, guys, just not too much. What? Just not too much? What? I'm sorry. I feel like I missed something. Hey, Kiri. And that reminds me, there is no Behind the Code or Burning His Love this week. All right, folks. Joe has meetings this evening, and I just want a week to recover from the con. Fully understood. Good to know, Joe. Nick, you're missing a tripod foot? If only you knew a guy with 3D printer. Well, it's the flat plastic kind over the tube, so it should be readily easy to adjust if I need to, and I'd probably want to put outer feet on it anyway, just to make it a little more, nice, like wooden floor friendly. And we're all glad to have Kiri, and woohoo! Hi, Chris. Sorry I didn't see you come in. Grant, Foxy, and I just pledged your Kickstarter. That's awesome. No Joe Bachman show. Might have to open an emergency green room again. bit.ly/League of Cryptids. And we're just waiting for payday, which happened to be the same day as the con. Oh my God, we're right under the first stretch goal. Excellent. I'm planning on sharing it to my Facebook later today as well. Excellent. I can go for a green room sesh if Carl starts one. That's an always open concept. I think that can always be good for us. I got physical copy. Woo! Nice, Thesis and Foxy. Granton's now $1 away from the stretch goal. Heading out to Nita's show. See you, kids. And bye, Grant and Kiri. Maybe Wednesday night. Ooh, okay. So we're looking at. I might have to try to go back and forth between shows. Well, we're not going to go too late because Mandy's not feeling well, and I have to make a run to drop off the key at the courthouse. So this isn't going to be a late one. And further accountability, Armory video is done. Now to send a copy to Dan for final approval before putting up on my channel. Woohoo! On so many levels. Well, friends, Wednesday is going to be a long show because it's going to be my art show if everybody can behave. And I will gladly discuss more into the con, more into vending, more into anything you guys want then. Even I'm a little tired coming into this one. So I will see you all very soon. Relatively. And Chris says, cons are hard work, but things come together. It can be so rewarding and fun. It's absolutely worth it. I want to say this again, guys. Thank you for coming to the convention. Thank you for sharing things around. Thank you for coming to my show and giving me, your content and your support. You're wonderful folks. I love you all, and thank you for being the creatives you are, because your work in this world matters. So, guys, keep writing, keep creating, because when you do, you can fix it, you can edit it, you can improve it, but you can't edit a blank page. I love you, and you should too. We'll see you Wednesday. Toodles.